Yeah. What's up? I'm Ross Capicchioni, and this is a story about the time I was shot 3 times and left for dead when I was 17. What happened was when I was a junior in high school, a friend of mine growing up in the same neighborhood asked me for a ride down to his uncle's house to get some shit that he left there, like when he said he had some books, some clothes, just nonsense. And I denied him at first because I didn't want to drive down to that like certain area, but he kept asking me. And little did I know it was like a setup between him and another friend of mine, or a kid we knew from the neighborhood, like out where I lived, that they were going to try to kill me. So eventually, it was like 2 or 3 months after he originally asked me, he called me and asked me to take him, and I wasn't doing anything, so I said sure. So when we drove down there, we pulled up, and we like kind of were in like this alley, but it was like an alley with a backyard to a house in it. And at first I was like, all right, man, I'll just wait for you real quick. And he was like, no, let's go. So we hopped out, and we were getting out. I was just like looking around, and then all of a sudden I heard like a gunshot, and I looked down and my like arm was like hanging off, and I looked up, and then the dude was just staring at me with the gun. And I guess the fight or flight kicked in, so I ran towards him, and then he shot me in the chest. And then when I was on my knees from getting shot in the chest, I dropped down, and I remember he put the gun to my head, and my whole like life flashed before my eyes, and I like seeing all like the good stuff to remember. And then after that moment, like I still felt the barrel on my head, so I like swatted it away, and like he shot the gun, so he shot me in the head, but it didn't like blow my head off or anything. It just kind of like took a piece of it off. So after that, I remember I could still see, so I was like, all right, that's good for me. I know my head's not blown off. So I like kind of got in a tussle with the guy as much as I could while I was like hanging there, and eventually somehow like he ended up smacking me in the face with the gun, the butt of like the end of the gun, and then I ended up on my back, and he took my keys out of my pocket and ran away, and like I watched my vehicle drive away. So I was kind of left there, and I remember I was talking to myself the whole time, and I was telling myself, hey man, you gotta try to get up, you gotta try to get up. And like if you think about what I just been through, it's like impossible to get up. So I remember I tried as much as I could, and then the whole time that was going on, I had this like really strong desire to fall asleep, and every time I would like fall asleep, all the pain would go away, so it'd like feel good. But then my a voice in my head would be like, hey man, does it make sense to you? You just got shot and now it feels good to fall asleep, like you're dying. So like there was one of those times where I like came back to reality, and I felt like someone picking me up off the ground, like from under my arms. And I thought it was the dude like coming back to like get me or something, because I remember I was like trying to like swing my arm and like feel who it was, but there was no one behind me. And once I was like lifted up, I got like a really strong shove from behind, like someone pushed me, like, and I walked about 250 feet like straight. And mind you, when I'm walking through this like backyard alley, there's houses on the left and like a building on the right. So I'm in the back of the building. So on the front of the building is a major road, and then on the other side's a backyard. So when I'm walking through this alleyway, I get to the end of the building and like the grass, and I fall to another main street, like straight to my face. And then I remember when I fell down that time, I was telling myself, all right, bro, you're good. You went as far as you can. Like you fought, like just like let that sleep feeling kick in. Little did I know, it's the exact moment like I fell like straight down like a tree when you cut it, like poof. There happened to be an off-duty police officer driving on that main road going westbound, and where I fell out was another cross street, so there was like a traffic light, and he had the green light. So like if you think about it, when you're driving on the road and you get a green light, how often do you look right or left when your light's green? So he looked to the right at the exact same time that I fell. He thought someone was playing a joke. He kept driving. turned around after like 2 miles because he's like, I gotta go check that out. Because I remember when I fell down, I told myself, hey bro, just get that rest in. So I started to fall asleep. And I remember like I would pass out and I'd be like, man, that feels so good, like to sleep. And I'd be like, yo, wake up. And it'd just be like, when I'd wake up and like regain consciousness, it'd be like, I don't know if anyone's shot a gun with not having an ear protection in, but yes, waking up to that ringing and I couldn't see nothing, just like blurry because I lost so much oxygen and shit. And I passed back out a little bit, and then like one of the times I woke up, I heard, hey man, you're all right, bro, I'm coming. And I like heard this guy run up, and then I felt him like grab me, and he was holding me, and he was like, you're gonna be all right, bro. He's like, you still look real good, don't you worry. And then he's like, I called the ambulance, and I like faded out. And then when I heard ambulance, like I kind of faded back in, and it was so crazy. I heard like the littlest wee you, like from so far away, and I could hear it getting louder and louder and louder. Then it was like right there. I've heard everything, and then I felt them. I can't see. I can just only hear it and stuff because I lost all my sight from the oxygen loss from getting shot in the chest and probably blood loss. But I could hear everything. And they're like, I just, I could hear him saying, like, I found him, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. There's no, so I remember getting in the ambulance, and they give you whatever, saline, whatever, to get shit flowing. I started to be able to see again. And I remember, like, I got my vision back, and I was, like, looking up into the top of the ambulance, and the EMT or whatever staring at me, like I remember looking at me, like, what the f***? So I can only imagine what I looked like. But when I looked at him, I noticed, man, a little, not even a laser pointer dot of light, like smaller than that, like a pin prick of light on the top of the thing. And as soon as I like looked at it, like it zoomed over into the center of the ambulance, and all of a sudden I started to like have an out of body experience where I like was coming out of my body, like floating up. Like I don't know if anyone's ever like hallucinated or heard about that shit, like having that like takeoff effect. That's what I started to feel like. I felt like I was alive, but I wasn't in my body. And I remember I was like going up towards the light, and I remembered I was like, man, you should look at yourself and see what you look like, because I felt like I could move, you know what I mean? But I was just like going upwards, but I was like laying down on my back. It's the best way I could describe the feeling. And when I was like, nah, I'm good, it's like the light got bigger, and it went I went shooting up there like a rocket, and it was all like tunnel, like G-force going through a light, and I still felt like myself. I remember I was like in the tunnel, like, what the dude, like I feel like me, but really not here. So blasting through that light beam, it like switched it boom to a scene where I was third person skating through the parking lot of the hospital of where they're bringing me. Like basically like just cutting through like, on my board. And I noticed like the ambulance fly up, and then like people running out, and then like they're starting to bring the stretcher out. And it's like my feet come out first, and it's my legs and like my body. And then right when it gets to my head, boom, black. And then I woke up from that, just changed the scene. So like the tunnel, the change of scene, me in a whole nother dimension, but seeing me, so like reincarnated at that point to someone else or something else, and then boom to like waking up where like old school TV, like that black and white pixelated screen when the channel don't work, kind of waking up to seeing that foggy like vision, but being like alert, like shit, am I dead? And this is what it's like pixelated. And then it kind of like fizzled from pixelated to where I could see like shadows, and I could hear like beep, beep, beep. And then all of a sudden, another change of scene real fast. Full fucking vision. Got this lady just staring at me, to which I remember it was like looking like the most beautiful woman you could ever see. Just because waking up to that, the first sight, and it's like they're on like what they call like they're watching me because I'm on a ventilator. So obviously it's just someone doing their job, you know what I mean? But they're like making sure they're watching you. So when I woke up, they probably couldn't believe that I was waking up, so she was like, and I'm like, all right, dude, I could do this. This is happening. And then it like really kicked in, and she's like, holy shit, he's up. And then like she ran out the room, and it all kicked in. I'm tied down to the bed. I got the ventilator in. I'm freaking out because I'm breathing on my own, and that's pumping oxygen into my lungs to keep me alive because they gave me 24 hours on that ventilator. If I didn't start breathing on my own, they were just going to pull it because there was like no hope, you know? So I remember this one doctor ran in, she came flying in, bro. She threw her shit, knocked it all off the table. I was like, what's going on? She's like, holy shit, bro. You're okay. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. Pulled it out. I'm like, whole thing. I like leaned over, like hugged up, like, I remember, bro, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen. There's like chunks of everything in it. I'm like, breathing. They're like asking me all these questions. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? And they're like, you've been shot, you're fine. We can't believe you woke up. This is incredible. And I'm thinking like, what the fuck? And they asked me everything. What's your name? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what year is it? I'm like, I have no idea. They're like, what's the president? Do you know where you are? And they're like, all right, well, we'll try, you know, do you know any kind of number we can like call someone and tell them? I was like, I shouted out my dad's whole phone number, area code and everything. They're like, can you do that one more time? And I said it the second time. They're like, what's that phone number? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, phone number? So shout out to my dad for getting that call because they didn't know where I was at for 3 days. And my parents knew I was shot, but the police couldn't tell them like what, you know what I mean? Because they didn't have a body. They just said there was rumors that he's been shot, but we can't. So shout out to my parents because I'm a dad now. I couldn't imagine going through 3 days like not knowing where your kid's at and then getting the call. Because I remember when they first got to the hospital, my mom ran in. I'm like, please don't be mad at me. She's like, mad at you, bro? You kidding me? And then like the cops came and I'm like, what the fuck are the cops doing here? Like, how the cops here already like?
Yeah, you didn't do anything.
Well, not that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like detective cops, not just like officers. Like, hey, we helped you. You know what I mean? It's like, how are the cops here when like I didn't even like tell my parents who did it or nothing, you know what I mean? And like cops came, dude, they already had a picture of like the shooter. I'm like, how'd you get that? And they're like, hey, you know this guy? And they said it. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, interesting enough, the day that guy shot me, he called that kid and said, yo, we just shot Ross and we're gonna chop his body up and put it in an abandoned house later. Like we finished the mission. So after they hung up, that kid the shooter told his parents, and the parents called the police. So that's what happened. So like while I was in a coma, the SWAT team went and got that kid because of that other kid like ratting on him. So I didn't know till I woke up. Which thank God that one kid ratted because then the shit might have never ended the same for me. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people say like, oh, you should have got revenge and blah, blah. It's like, first of all, till you live shit like that and when you're not like a gangster, like living that lifestyle, it's a little different growing up in the suburbs to go like get retaliation in a drive-by shooting. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that shit.
No.
And the police already had the guy in custody, so it's like,
Break into the police.
no, they told me like, hey man, you don't have to say anything. You can say that's not the guy and he can walk free, but bet your ass when he goes missing, we're coming right back to this house. First person is you and your family. Because my grandpa said, no, you don't know the guy. You know, you don't go to court. It's okay. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. He's like, oh no, we can. I'm like, no, you know, we can't. Like, trust me, you know. So it's like. That was like my one getting my life back was like the lottery, but for the dude to snitch on the other guy before I even had the chance to come out of a coma was like another God being like, those guys. Like, you know, another one for Rossi, you know what I mean? Because I didn't do nothing to deserve that. We weren't buying drugs. Like even if we were buying drugs, which everyone, whatever, even if it was whatever, who deserves to get shot and left like that for no reason? Like what, because we were buying weed or something? It's like, come on, bro. You guys are crazy. That was some psychological shit that they had. Dude had some problems. Especially he's only 15 years old. Who the thinks about doing that at 15? I was 17 and I would what the but basically that, man. And then that's what really happened. That's kind of like the nutshell of it. I mean, there's a lot more though that's happened with like spiritual shit I've encountered.
Yeah, I do have a couple questions. So, what was? Can you explain the reasoning why you were shot? Like, what was the
reasoning I got from the detectives? It was like a gang thing for him. That's what they told me. It was like his initiation was to try to kill someone.
All right. Now, how close were you with him?
Like
were you guys friends?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, now listen to this now. Like I said, 15 and 17. So when I met him, he was like a child, like 8, and we were kids. His grandma moved him out of the inner city out to where we lived at. So when we grew up, he was in our neighborhood. So when we played football or played baseball or skateboard, we'd be like, yo, you can hang with us, you know what I mean? So that's how we grew up. But like in high school, we kind of got, separated because I was on my own stuff and he was on his own stuff. And he got like in trouble and expelled from school. I didn't even know. And for like fighting. And he like was fighting a group of my friends. And I remember he was like, you got my back or some shit. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? These are my friends. Like, why are you guys fighting? Like, no, good. And I think that's what started it. Because I remember when I'd see that other kid he told, like around or like go to the gas station, the kid would run away and hide. I'm always wondering, like, why the f is he acting so weird around me? Like, hiding from me, like running. Like, literally running and hiding. I'm thinking, what the f is wrong? All the time he knows what's the plan is. He thinks I know. Motherfucking cowards, guys. Those guys are bastards.
So where is he now? How long was he in jail for, and where is he now?
He was in prison for 16 years, and now I don't know where he's at.
But he's out of prison now.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sorry. I only hope that he's, you can only hope that he's changed his ways and
Facts.
wants to better himself. Because you think about it, he was in prison a year longer than he was actually alive. And from 2007 till now, a lot's fucking changed. A lot's changed in that 16 years. So it's going to be good luck. That's a big adjustment.
Might be a weird question, but do you ever want to ask him why'd you do that?
No.
You never want to see him again.
I would be better off not to see him. You know what I mean?
So, this is really interesting. I read a whole book called The Third Man Factor about people who are near death, and they report like 9/11. This person was in the South Tower, and they felt a hand grab them and rush them out of the building right before it collapsed. And that's exactly
Bro,
what
the
you're
third
reporting.
man. That's what I was hearing myself. Like, Rossi, come on, bro. You can't lay on the ground. You got to get up. And then, that feeling of that person pick me up, that was real talk. Like, I could feel that. Like, I felt something. I mean, like I can explain this. Hands grab me, pick me up, and push me. And it seemed like someone above was like, all right, if I push this kid hard enough, this guy's going to be driving. You know what I mean? It's weird. And the craziest thing is the 5th day I got released from the hospital, I came out the exact doors I seen when I was at the skating through. And I never been to the hospital. I was born in Detroit, but I was born at another hospital, not St. John's. So my mom, she was pushing me out in the wheelchair. And I'm like, turn me around real quick. She's like, what's up? And she turned me around. I looked at the front. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. She's like, what? I'm like, I was here. She's like, well, duh, this is the hospital. I said, no, Mom. I was here when they were bringing me in when I was dead. This parking lot, I skated through it. She was like, what the fuck? Because I was dead on arrival. They didn't call it that no more, but I was DOA. I had no oxygen, no blood flow, no heartbeat. Duh.
So do you think that was God, some sort of angel?
Yeah, it was, I believe in God, you know what I mean? Like the creator. There's if it's a dude or whatever, but that fucking God is real. Whatever it is, that shit's real, bro. And it was definitely watching. Because I'll tell you this story's about to just break everything, though, and get you really wondering. Yeah. So I got released after 5 days, right? Which people think is crazy, but the nurse that was working with me told me, bro, you gotta leave. You'll get sicker in the hospital because you're not outside, you're not getting stronger. He's like, don't get scared, bro. He's like, you already did this. He's like, don't, just go home. And mind you, I have like a big ass wound in my chest still, and like a vacuum cleaner thing attached to it to like suck the wound from the inside out to close it.
Yeah.
Got like 50 staples in my head, no, like a couple of my teeth missing from when he hit me. This crazy cast because they had to like reconnect my arm. You know what I mean? Oh, bro, that was some zombie shit. That, like, okay, say, like, see how I'm holding my arm out like that?
Yeah.
When I got shot, this part was down and the bone was out. Oh yeah, like a fucking zombie arm, like that.
So when you were running through the...
Oh my god, imagine what the
Sick.
fucking guy seen when he's picked me up. bro.
Jesus.
I guess my head was like 15 times the size because all the pressure and shit.
Holy shit.
Oh, brother. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's crazy shit. But, so I leave the hospital and I get pneumonia a couple days later and from a fluid draining in my lungs, so I have to go back to the same hospital I was at. But mind you, now that the detectives know this shit and everything, I'm under like protective gang watch and because there's cases of that hospital where people are like, oh, that's my brother, and they go up in there and they're ex-rivals and they shoot him right on the bed table, you know what I mean? So I had an alias and no one knew my real name but the doctor working on me. Even the nurses didn't know. So I had to go back to the hospital and they had to like do the alias and put me in like an area for like, you know, protection, you know what I mean? That's just that was their call. I just wanted to get in the hospital so I can get my pain meds to be able to breathe. So anyway, long story short, I get into this pediatrics unit. So it's like small beds and for like little kids that are not going to make it, you know what I mean? So there's only one baby up on that floor and me. So I get in the room, I finally get set up, I'm like I'm going through a lot of pain, I'm like miserable, I can't breathe. They finally helped me get some pain medication, I hit my little button, you know, feeling good now. You know, for sure, bro, you need it when you're in that much pain just to breathe, you know, you finally takes that little edge off where you can be like, you know, so I'm feeling good. I got my little TV thing. It's X Games Street Skateboarding. I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you, God. It's working out for me. Like, you know what I mean? My mom's got a chair. She's getting sleepy. All of a sudden, do a little knock on the door. Here comes a maintenance guy with the outfit on the cart. Hey, man, I got to fix this, like, thermostat unit. I just got to upgrade it real quick. Like, it's going to be a switch and a monitor. Right? Do you mind if I just get it done real quick? I know you've been going through a lot, bro, and I'm thinking, all right, whatever, bro. You know, I'm pretty high off this morphine. Go ahead. So he's working and I'm trying to watch my thing, and I'm getting a little annoyed because he's like drilling and, you know, cleaning out, you know, nothing crazy. And my mom's just sitting there. He gets done and he's like, all right, I'm all done. And looks right at me. He goes, hey, so Ross, why did, you know, blank shoot you and why didn't blank tell you about it? I said, what'd you say to me? He's like, you heard me. He's like, well, I did. He named the shooter and named the accomplice. And he's like, why did they do that to you, bro? And I'm like, I didn't feel scared at that moment. I was just like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'll tell you why. He's like, because they didn't have God in their life and they were very evil people. And he like told me a story about he got shot by his best friend in the eye for his car, like back in the day, like in the 70s. And he survived and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you know, God, I just wanted to let you know that God's got a special plan for you. He's like, I'm not sure like what it will be like in the end. He's like, it could be like to be the president one day, a doctor, a father, or just even like a good friend to someone like that just cares about you. He's like, just stay on your road, man. He's like, don't deviate no more with this, you know, stay true and, you know, God's, you know, got a plan for you, you know, and he's like, it's nice to meet you. And he walked out the room, and it's, mind you, it's like a door that big. So like, he walked out, the nurse walked in. So they would have had to like kiss each other on the mouth. My mom's like, where'd the maintenance guy go? The lady goes, man, there's no one up here. She's like, no, the guy that just walked out of the room right before you walked in. And the lady's like, I'm sorry, man, there's no one allowed up here. That's a pediatric like intensive care unit for like kids, and you are up here, so it's only me and the other nurse and like the doctor. My mom's like, no, the maintenance guy, Eric, that just walked out. And the lady's like, ma'am, there's no one up here. Maintenance guys. There's no one left your room. She's like, you're just tired.
That's a story.
And then my mom noticed that same night down at that little baby's room, which like a shadow figure like walk out the room, and that baby ended up passing away. Crazy.
Whoa. So who or what do you think that means?
That was like my guardian angel probably, or the proof that God wanted to show me. All right, you been questioning? Here you go. Here you go. Yeah, here you go. Besides what you already experienced, you want the cherry on top? There's that guy to tell you. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
What do you want? And now, fast forward 16 years later, I got 3 kids. You know what I mean? It's like maybe that, you know, and I'm trying to inspire people to have faith and be hopeful, because the world's dark right now, bro.
That gave me chills. When you
Yeah,
said that. That's crazy,
a
man.
real
Whoa.
story.
That's crazy shit. That's the real shit, too.
So I guess, what changed in your life and your mentality after this whole thing happened? Like, what happened to you personally? Like, what message would you like to share with people?
Oh, you just gotta be thankful for everything. No matter what it is, you gotta be happy. Because every day's like not promised. That shit you can punch your ticket anytime, you know? And you always just gotta keep it real. You gotta be nice to people. You gotta give it out in a good way, positive way. And then it's how it just keeps going in a circle, you know? Life never stops. So if all you do is put out positive, how can you get shit back? You know what I mean? You can only get good vibes, good afterlife, you know what I mean? So that's just and staying thankful is the only way. You just gotta I thank God, but whoever you want. Thank yourself, whatever, just be thankful for everything. Even if it's not the best car or the best job, there's someone out there that's like, I wish I had that. So that's my advice. And look at it like that. If you tell yourself to look at it like that, it's just the power of the mind, bro. You can get another 2 hours of talking about that shit, because I went through a lot of spiritual shit to get myself out of like deep. I used to be real angry guy.
So after that accident, were you like not trusting anyone
No,
anymore?
never. My own parents, it's the weirdest thing. And my dad like, what am I, trust me? Like, yeah. It's like, I can't explain that feeling, you know what I mean? And he'd be like, that sucks, you know what I mean? Because it's like, they were parents, bro. But it gets better now, like, I trust, like, you guys, you know what I mean? At first, I didn't trust the situation. I almost left, because I rang the doorbell, no one answered, and I'm like,
yeah,
this seems kind of shady. There's a car outside, there's a bunch of cameras, like, I'm out of here before I end up on the news. But, like, anytime I sit in a restaurant, I'm facing the door.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a store with my kids, I'm watching everything. I don't like, to be in line with like 3 or 4 people behind me. I'll step right the fuck out and get behind the last person. They'll look at me. I'll be like, all right, no problem.
So is that just like PTSD?
Oh, for sure. It's got to be, then like the, thoughts and shit, crazy thoughts. But it's very common with traumatic experience like that, especially like my shit was like gruesome shit, bro. Dude tried to blow my head off.
You have any like nightmares from it?
Yes, some crazy dreams, but I got a control over it. That's what I know I'm blessed with too. Like that was like one of the things I worked on, is like to like be able to talk about it like this with you guys. And in the moment, it's like hard, get choked up. It's because it's real shit, you know what I mean? And I'm a nice guy, you guys are nice guys,
Yeah.
so it's like it hits. But it's like I'll leave here and be okay. It's not gonna be going home and be like, no one talk to me for the rest of the day. But yeah, it's there. I mean, do I forget the guy? Fuck no. You know what I mean? Am I like looking for him? No, dude, I got it. Please. Got shit to do with my life, bro. And I'm sure he does too, you know what I mean? I don't think,
Yeah.
One more question. Is gang violence like that still a problem here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a gangbanger, but like when I did some I did a TV show with the Oprah Winfrey Network. They came here. And we went actually to the location where I was shot, but they called the city and got like it shut down by the police. So like the whole like 4-block perimeter was like police with machine guns because they had their big cameras out there, and me and the host like walked through the actual alley. And when I was driving to the location with the police chief of the east side, his radio was going off, and it was like, gunman barricaded in house shooting at police with AK-47. He just like turned it down. He looked at me, he goes, that shit happens like 3-4 times a day, bro. I'm like, so, and that was like years ago. So I mean, the Detroit's awesome. Like, I love the city. It's coming back, but the crime's probably a little bit down because, you know, we're doing better, but it still exists here. There's still a lot of like gangs. I'm not a gang banger, but I'm sure there's gangs down here for sure. Like, I got shot by someone trying to join a gang that I didn't even know they were in a gang. And I live 35 miles away from where the gang was at.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's the...
How far from here?
Like,
From where you got shot?
from right here,
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
Would you want to show us? To not get out the car? Just
We'll think about it, bro. Because it's like, I'm not kidding, it's dangerous area.
All right, guys. So right now, Ross is taking us by the area where he was shot. So we're gonna be driving by the house that his friend came out of. Yeah, he said that this is a really bad area, so he said he's not even gonna stop his truck. I mean, I don't blame him. I also want to state, we didn't ask him to do this. He offered to take us by to see it. So he seemed even nervous just about going back right now, middle of the day here in Detroit.
I'm surprised he's doing it for us after everything that happened. But it's like he said, he's over it now, you know? Look at that. Everything. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, pull up, King.
Right there is where they made me turn in left. So if you want, you can go up there and get a shot, but pull up. I'll stay right here. Follow me. Come here.
So he's saying this square on this corner is where I think they found him, right?
Yep.
Like right here. I'll pull up on the side. Oh, this is where they found him?
Mm-hmm.
They picked his body up. Jesus Christ.
So just right there in that
That's it,
alley?
about right third house down, right in the middle of that alley.
Where they found you?
No, I walked to the end of that building and fell on that street down.
Oh.
Damn.
And that's the road that the cop was coming down, but going that way instead of the way we came. So when I came out the end of those buildings and fell, he was driving by and happened to see it.
Wow.
So that's what happened right there.
It's a lot different here, that was saying, than the other spots. Every neighborhood, everything's abandoned here.
Oh, bro, if you go up and drive around, I wouldn't recommend f***ing around too long over here.
Yeah.
But that's where it happened right there. I pulled my car in facing that way. I drove about, the third house down and parked. So from there all the way to the other end when I got picked up and pushed. So you could even, a good shot would be to get the shot like this, rolling on this street, and then turn left on Evanston and take it all the way down till it ends and make a left and see how far I really walked through that fucking alley.
Is that where you got shot?
Right there,
Yeah.
in that alley.
Damn.
Yeah, it's overgrown now.
It looked like that when it happened.
Oh, wow.
How do you think anyone would have found me in there?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'll hit the block with you, and then I'm gonna go home. But you guys do whatever you want. But it'd be a good shot to like show this end, and then show how long it really was a walk to the next block. Each shot, that'd be interesting.
Well, we'll follow you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just so you guys can see,
It's the third house down.
he's all bleeding out. And remember, his arm was hanging off.
You know, third house down all the way down here.
Yeah, so that means he started walking already here, trailing through all here still.
All the way down this way.
Wow.
Yep.
He walked all the way after.
Through that alley.
And that means if he was found right here, the cop was, I'm assuming, was right around here.
All the way down
Right here. This is where I guess he was found.
Damn.
Because that means he came out here. That's when he dropped here and the cops came.
Yep.
Right here. All right, so right here. Right there. So he dropped there. That's what he's saying. He got picked up.
Damn.
Dude, holy fuck. I think he's dipping now.
Yep.
Yeah. And he said it looked like this when he went through it.
Yeah, look at that. Imagine walking all the way from down there.
Through all that heavy brush with your arm hanging off.
Arm hanging off, shot in the head
He
and
said
the
he couldn't-
chest.
He said he couldn't see. He couldn't breathe. His arm was hanging off.
But
And that cop just happened to be driving down here.
an angel, God helped him. It's fucking crazy shit. That's paranormal, 100%.
It's nuts. I mean, dude, even on the side here, look at the side. Look at this house. The couch is on the, no, the bed frame is on the sidewalk. The house is abandoned, falling apart. Looks like a crack house.
Hello!